Hello class, how are you today? I hope you're all doing good. So today we will discuss Module 1 Lesson 1. What are the visual arts? First, let's define visual arts. So what are visual arts? What comes to your mind? I know that you have an idea about it. So the visual arts are those creations that we can see rather than something like auditory arts which we hear. So that's why it's called visual, because this is something that we can see. We can see around us, or something near, something far. So these art forms are extremely diverse. So that means that there are many types of visual arts. So things that or artworks that hangs on your wall are considered as visual arts, as well as the movie that you watched last night is also visual arts. So we have here an example of a painting which is also considered as a visual art. So this is a painting by Vincent van Gogh, one of the most popular painters around the world. So this is entitled The Church at Overs. So this is an oil painting by Gogh in 1890. Right. Right now, let's talk about what types of arts are visual arts. So there are different types of visual arts. So the visual arts include mediums such as drawing, painting, sculpture, architecture, photography, film, and printmaking. And I'm sure that you're all familiar with this, right? Okay, so many of these pieces of art are created to stimulate us through a visual experience. So that is the aim of these arts, to give us another experience just by looking at it. So some of us might feel happy, sad, melancholic, okay, and anything or any emotions when we see those arts, and that is the purpose. So when we look at them, they often provoke a feeling of some sort. Right, so I'm sure that there are pictures, there are paintings that makes you feel emotional, happy, or angry, right? So that is the effect of these visual arts. Now let's take a look at this painting. So what emotions could you get from this painting? This is actually, so this is an oil on canvas by John Everett Millais. This is entitled Ophelia. So he painted this in 1851. So this painting is actually taken from William Shakespeare's play entitled Hamlet. So Ophelia is actually the wife of Hamlet, and she happened to fell from a tree, she fell on the river. So this is the interpretation of the painter of what happened to Ophelia. Yeah, so in the story, guys, it wasn't found out. So how or where was Ophelia's body? Now let's take a look at this old photography. So this is entitled Lunch Atop a Skyscraper. But actually the photographer of this picture is unknown, but it is said that it was taken in 1932. Okay, so what emotions or what do you feel upon looking at this picture? Right, so as you can see, these are a group of men having their lunch at the top of a skyscraper. Right, so I'm sure that you're getting emotions or feelings when you take a look at this picture. All right, how about this one? I'm sure you're all familiar with this, and maybe most of you here have done this when you were still a child. Now look at the picture. What emotions could you get by looking at it? Do you also remember your childhood? Okay, are your childhood memories flashing back upon looking at this All right. right? So the pictures that I have shown you earlier were just examples of how visual art stimulates emotions or triggers us, okay, to feel something. Okay, so now let's talk about another type of visual arts. So this is what we call the decorative art. So this art is more utilitarian and has a function but retains an artistic style and still requires talent to create. So decorative arts, in short, so they serve a particular purpose. Okay, so this can include ceramics, furniture, furniture making, textiles, interior design, jewelry making, metal crafting, and woodworking. So examples of decorative arts. So these are objects that possess artistic qualities and were created by skilled makers. But then they do not belong to the general categories of painting, sculpture, and architecture. Okay, so they are used for decoration purposes. So they include decoration and furnishing interiors, personal adornment like costume and jewelry, and product design. So let's have some examples here. So the first picture, yeah, this is actually a kind of beads or jewelry for Tivoli woman. Yeah, so this is an example of a decorative art. So they serve a purpose for decoration. And also we have the second picture, the saint sculpture. Yeah, so this is also an example of a decorative art. And this one, for Moldova culture, so weaving of dried corn, so forming as a doll or forming dolls using the dried corn, right? So this serves as decorations, right, or adding designs. So that's why it's called decorative. Okay, so during the Renaissance period, decorative arts are kind of important. So decorative arts were greatly valued. So they are greatly valued because of the high level of skills and costly materials involved in making them. So then again, as you can remember, so decorative arts, it requires talent or skills to make those things. So that's why it is a very important. And for example, items such as the jewelry, arms and armor, tapestry, embroidery, woodwork, and ceramics were popular. And it's not that easy to create those things. Right now, let's talk about visual arts according to the types and materials used. Okay, so the first on our list are the things that are made of gold, okay, or called gold work. So elaborate objects made of gold served as a symbol of status in the Renaissance period. So during the Renaissance era, of course, if something is made of gold, it is very important. This is prestigious and it symbolizes someone's social status. So often decorated with precious stones, they reflected the wealth and prestige of their own owners. So if you can observe in some classic movies, if you're watching some classic movies, so if the family is wealthy, you can see that their house or the utensils at home are made of gold. Yeah. So rulers displayed their impressive collections of gold items and presented some as gifts to important visitors. So we have here some examples. So let's look at the picture. As you can see, this is the dining area and everything is, yeah, made of gold. As you can see here at the center of the table. And yeah, like yeah, spoon, fork, knives, also made of gold, and some brooch or jewelry with stones on it, yeah, covered with gold. So those are some of the examples. So additionally, members of the middle class also collected gold objects such as drinking bowls, utensils, jewelry, and statuettes. However, they tended to purchase ready-made pieces rather than works created specially for the owner. Yes, so just like what I've mentioned earlier, so these are some of the examples of things that people, especially those in high status, okay, so used during the Renaissance period. So they have golden utensils, jewelry, and any accessories at home. Now let's proceed to medals, arms, and armor. So these things also played a major role in the Renaissance period. And yeah, these are important visual arts as well. So portrait medals made of gold, silver, bronze, or lead were popular in the Renaissance, particularly in Italy. So portrait medals, so it means their portraits are made into a medal. So just like in the coins or peso coins that we have here in the Philippines, you see the faces of Jose Rizal. So those are their portraits, okay, formed in the coins. So this is kind of similar here. So the portrait models, medals made of yeah, gold like this one, or bronze or silver. So members of the nobility distributed the medals to their friends and supporters. It's also like a symbol of power. Yep, so these are inspired by ancient coins. The medals portray distinguished individuals, usually in profile and identified by an inscription. So just like how you see it on the coins, right? So example like this one, okay, so this is a portrait of yeah, a portrait of a person and with the inscription, okay, so that we can identify who is this person. So the Italian artist Antonio Pesanello was one of the great masters of this form. So this is Antonio Pesanello, and he is very popular in creating portrait medals. All right, so they also have these metal workers who produces arms and armor. So those are also very important in the Renaissance period. So for individuals participating in tournaments or preparing for war. So back in history, so during the Renaissance period, so there are knights. Diba? If you have watched some movies, you see knights protecting the monarchy or protecting the family, protecting the town. And yeah, they should be always ready for tournaments or for war, and they have to wear yeah, armors. So the best weapons and pieces of armor, finely crafted and decorated with gold and gems, became a symbol of status among upper classes. Yeah, so if the armor is made of gold, there are many gems or precious stones. So that also symbolizes that that person is in a high status or a high class family. Now let's proceed to textiles. So decorative textiles were highly prized in the Renaissance period. So these are very expensive because again, these things are not easily made. So we have tapestry, one of the most splendid art forms of the period, required hundreds of hours of skilled labor to produce, especially if it's very big. Are you familiar with weaving, guys? Weaving? So that is tapestry. So tapestry is a form of weaving. Um, Kagaya ng banig, right? Just like that. But this one, they should create a picture. So this is an example of a popular tapestry. This is the unicorn purifies water. Um, yeah, from 1495 to 1505. So this was found on those years. Woven of expensive materials such as gold, silver, silk, and wool, tapestries often contain mythological, religious, or historical scenes. Right? So they create pictures, and these pictures can be a special event in the past, in history, or religion related, or like superstitious beliefs or mythological. For example, unicorns or gods and goddesses. Yeah. So people hung them in palaces, yeah, in the palace, churches, and even military tents to create elegant and impressive settings. So just like how you see on the picture. So we also have woodwork and enamel. So the art of creating images with pieces of inlaid wood reached Europe in the mid 1300s from the Islamic world. So this idea was taken from the Middle East or from the Islamic world. So Italian woodworkers produced benches, yeah, like this one. So like this one, benches, yeah, cabinets, and wall paneling featuring intricate inlaid pictures. And in the early 1400s, they began incorporating three-dimensional scenes in their designs, drawing on new theories and perspectives. So as you can see here in our example, so this is a cabinet with carvings on it. Yeah. So maybe some of you have these kinds of cabinets at home for those who like antiques. Yeah, or this one. So there are pictures carved in this bench. So aside from that, they also have these works decorated with enamel, okay, or with colors or with painting. So these things were popular in France in the mid 1500s. So applied to a metal surface and then heated at extremely high temperatures, enamel produces a glossy jewel-like finish. Okay, so the French used enamel for paintings as well as beautiful vases, candlesticks, yeah, and other household objects. So themes for the designs range from biblical and mythological stories to portraits and scenes from everyday life. So those are the designs, okay, that they decorate. So for example, we have here, yeah, vase, a beautiful vase. So it's painted with, yeah, angels. So this is more on religious things. And yeah, another one, so this is like a basket, or I'm sorry, a like baul. Yes, so it is decorated as well with yeah, people, as you can see here. So this is an event like related to religious events. So yeah, those are the designs that they paint on these things. All right, and the last one we have ceramics. So I'm sure you're familiar with ceramics. So these things are also popular in the Renaissance period. So during the Renaissance, ceramics or objects made from clay developed into a high art form. So artists were inspired by glazed pottery from China and Muslim regions of the Middle East and Spain. So this is an example of a jar or a pottery from China. So the paintings are very delicate as well and very very stylish. And this vase is from the Middle East. So these are the inspirations of the French artist. All right, so in Italy, potters developed a technique known as majolica, which involved glazing a clay object, painting a design on it, coating it with a clear glaze, and firing it. So this is the example of a pottery in Italy. So by using the technique majolica. And a similar type of ceramics known as faience emerged in France. So this is an example of faience. All right, so that's it for lesson 1. So for your short quiz, please go to Quipper and answer the questions that I will be posting. So thank you for listening, guys. If you have questions, please let me know.